What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you are all doing very well. Let's talk for a minute about a few things. I want to talk about the Revival Catalyst right behind me. We just got into patch 10.1. Embers of Neltharion is live. Of course, we are not into Season 2 yet. That's next week. But a lot of stuff's happening right now. So, Creation Catalyst stuff, Revival Catalyst stuff behind me, whatever it's called. Some M+ affix changes. Some that are in, some that shouldn't still be there. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the big one's the healing changes. I'll talk about that in a second as well. The 25% damage and health changes. If you don't know about that, I'll explain it in a minute. So let's start with the catalyst here. This is kind of frustrating. This thing doesn't work right now for our gear in Season 1 anymore. So they've already done the Shadow Flame crest and Flight Stone changes. So if you didn't know, if you didn't watch Dratnos' video, I talked about it in my last video. There's a whole new upgrade system in place that has to do with Shadow Flame crests and Flight Stones. Flight Stones are a currency that go right here now. It's all replacing your Valor, and it's replacing any sort of upgrade at all that you could do to your gear. And the Creation Catalyst, or the Revival Catalyst, sorry, does not work anymore for upgrading your gear into tier. This is very sad because my vault this week gave me a 421 pair of shoulders, which I wanted to immediately turn into tier, but I need this Renaissance Shadow Flame, which we don't have yet. We just don't have these. I went and done a bunch of questing in the new zone, and I haven't gotten any of these things yet. This isn't classified as a Season 2 piece of gear yet because we're not in Season 2 yet. We're still in Season 1. But the Catalyst is asking for Season 2 stuff. So this feels like a bit of a miss from Blizzard. Like they just didn't realize, or they didn't, I don't know, they weren't accounting for this happening in this week. But in particular, I got 421 piece of gear here that I wanted to upgrade and I can't. Luckily for me, I have 4 other pieces of tier gear. So I was very fortunate. It doesn't affect anything. I was just able to use the upgrade, even though the stats aren't really good. But there were some people in my chat last night on my Twitch stream who were like, hey, I got this out of my vault. Can I transform it into tier? And I was like, I don't think so. And they went and tried. And lo and behold, this tier upgrade, somebody got like they would have gone from a 385 piece of gear to like a 421. And they couldn't equip it because it was going to get rid of their tier set bonus because they can't turn it into tier. So this is kind of a massive problem right now. And I'm sorry for any of you guys who are in the same situation as this other person where, you know, equipping this big upgrade that you were going to get is going to lose your tier bonus, which you don't want to lose yet. We're not into Season 2. We can't get the new tier yet. So a very frustrating oversight from Blizzard. I'm not really sure why they didn't wait for this change to come through until next week. That would make the most sense, right? Anyway, so maybe they'll change it in the next couple days. I don't know, probably not. But anyway, that's the first thing, is that the Revival Catalyst is not working for the gear that you might have gotten right now because the gear that you got is not Season 2 gear, but they require Season 2 upgrades. So anyway, moving on. Let's go to the new M+ affix changes. I'm going to show you some footage here in the dungeon. Right before we get to the footage, let me show you what the affixes are for this week. So we've got Raging. Raging was one of the affixes that got changed. You can see here, non-boss enemies in Rage at 30%. Health, temporarily granting immunity to crowd control effects. We actually got to see this in the dungeon, which was super cool. Let me just pull this up here. I'll show you. This guy enrages over here. Let me go a little bit. Right here, he gets to 30%. He gets the enrage thing above his head. And now he can no longer be crowd controlled, which is actually kind of cool. He's not doing extra damage anymore. So they can't be CC'd now. They don't do more damage, but they can't be CC'd. So it's actually fine. I think enraged is like totally fine now. Yeah, I actually think this change is great. And I saw it multiple times during the dungeon. I don't think it's a real problem anymore. It used to be that like tanks would get the enraged thing and they'd have to like literally run away because every mob in the pack would get enraged at the same time. Look at this pack, for example. Multiple mobs are getting enraged right now at the same time, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that your tank's just gonna fall over and die. It's like, because it used to be like, you know, you would literally just die because of that problem. Now, the other weird thing that's happening, however, is there's also quaking still in the game. And this was specific from Blizzard that they were getting rid of this change, that quaking was no longer going to be in the game. So I'm not really sure why it's still here. You can see right here in the patch notes that they talk about it. So Mythic Plus affixes, you can see the following affixes have been retired: Quaking, Grievous, and Explosive. And it's not yet. It's still in the game because I've been playing with it. Every dungeon I ran last night had Quaking. So Raging has been changed. Quaking has not been removed. I'm not really sure why this is the way it is right now. I guess it's because Season 2 hasn't technically started yet. And this language specifically says these affixes have been retired for Dragonflight Season 2. So that's the only thing I can think of, I guess. It's just that the language here says they've been retired for Season 2. So we're still getting them in Season 1. That's kind of weird, right? Like, we got the changes for Raging, which was supposed to be in Season 2. And then we've got the changes to Quaking, haven't Quaked, because we're not in Season 2. Anyway, it's fine. It's just it was just weird for all of our dungeons to be kind of like that, okay? So just understand that those changes are here, but Quaking's not gone yet because we haven't technically started Season 2 yet, okay? Okay. Last thing I want to get to is, of course, the healing changes. And let me bring up the VOD again for that. We can see it here. My overall impressions are that
a bunch of our percentage, right?
the healing changes are fair. They feel fair to me. I would say they are a little bit frustrating at first, but I honestly want to call them fair.
Look at AoE damage. This is good. I mean, AoE
One thing before I get to it is the tracking of thundering is not working right now, and I want to make sure I'm clear on that. You can see
that was nuts.
right now I've got thundering above my head, and my little thundering thing is here, but there used to be something that appeared on my character, and it's not showing up anymore. Like, I have a weak aura that's tracking this, but there's nothing right on top of my character model. There used to be a thing there. I don't know what happened to it. This is happening to multiple people. You can see thundering goes off here and kills 2 of us, I think. Actually, I get healed, thankfully, by New Name heals me there, the paladin. But this happened multiple times in multiple dungeons. As you can see, the healing here is a little bit lessened, right? It was very, very frustrating that it wasn't, like, tracking thundering in the exact same way as I was used to it tracking it before. So I don't really know why it's not working. I've updated my add-ons. I have a weak aura running. It's just not really tracking it the same way it used to. I think this is maybe part of Blizzard's changes on tracking the weak auras. This is not going to happen, obviously, in Season 2, so you only have to deal with it for 1 more week. But it is incredibly frustrating and killed me multiple times in a dungeon. So very, very, I don't know, it's very annoying. Yeah, the healing is interesting. You can see here we take a bunch of damage. It's definitely, you can feel it. You can feel the effects of the healing not being there anymore. It is a big deal. Yeah.
Interesting. I totally forgot about that.
I'm going to talk about it here just in a second. This is on the plus 22 court that I did last night. You can just really feel the difference. It's only 25%. So what happened was, let me pause really quickly. I can show you the changes. There's a change to player health here. We decided to increase both player stamina and enemy damage by 25%. This is very much like an adjustment that was made before the launch of Dragonflight. They did 40% before the launch of Dragonflight. This essentially means, you know, all players have 25% more health. All enemies deal 25% more damage, but all healing.
Okay, it's not horrible, but it doesn't feel good.
All healing did not go up by 25%. Okay, that's the bottom line. Our healing is still where it was at before, and there weren't any serious buffs necessarily to all the healers. In fact, some healers got nerfed. So you can really feel it when people start taking a lot of damage. There's thundering going off again. It's actually the most frustrating thing. I hate thundering so much. It was incredibly, incredibly frustrating. Tank just got 1 tap there. So you could see some of the damage is very surprising. And I think that, like, for some mechanics, if tanks in particular are not ready for it, they will just get 1 tapped, just like that right there. So you can see it'll happen here really quick. I think he gets hit by a Shadow Mistress, maybe. Here comes Shadow Slash, from the Mistress. The tank is at full health, and he takes 3/4 of his health and then dies to the ticking from the Inquisitor. So that's crazy, right? Like, that's a lot of damage. This Shadow Slash from the Mistress just did like 300k some damage. Here it goes. Shadow Slash. He's at 670k. He goes to 230k. That's 400k damage. 430 almost. And then he dies to the ticking damage. So the damage is definitely a little bit more surprising. It's definitely a little bit more frustrating. You can feel the difference between not having that 25%, like all the monsters having 25% more damage in particular, and then your heals just feel 25% less effective because they, your allies have more health, and we weren't kicking Embers there, so this was a very frustrating court, let me tell you. We actually almost timed this despite all the deaths. But it's definitely a double whammy, right? Enemies are doing more damage, allies have more health, therefore your heals feel like they're doing less, therefore you have to spend more mana and more time healing your allies. It is a very frustrating experience. However, it's the first day, literally, and I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it's something we're just going to have to get used to, and you're just going to have to actually spend more time healing your allies. You're going to have to pay attention more to your healing on the whole. Like, you can't waste your healing, but that's okay. Ultimately, I was very frustrated at the beginning of the night. By the end of the night, it felt fair to me. It actually felt fair. I promise you. It's not an unfair change that they've made. So here's one of the mini bosses. This is one of the harder ones. Here comes Impending Doom. A lot of damage coming out from Impending Doom. Again, this requires me to do a lot of healing here. I need to be paying attention. That guy almost died. So again, the health changes are helping there. If he didn't have 25% more health, that mage right there, he would have died. He actually would have died. So the extra health on allies can also help by buying you more time as a healer to fight the different mechanics that are coming through. But it can be a frustrating experience. Let me flip to my Mistweaver really quickly. I did some Mistweaver stuff as well. It's good. The Mistweaver changes I will talk about in a separate video, all on its own. But just know that the changes in general do require more healing out of your healer, and it's just going to be more work. The tank almost dies right here. Watch this. Look at that. This tank was very frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating in my dungeon. He just didn't understand the new changes that had come through. He talked about them. Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Then it should only heal.
Watch this. I get so tilted, man. I get so tilted by this guy. By the time we'd already had 21 deaths in this dungeon. We're only in a 16. 21 deaths.
Are you putting up your shield, dude? Are you wearing a shield? Do you have it on?
I was so tilted.
I'm checking. I'm coming to check if you have it on, bro.
Yeah. Look at the ice cutter here. Like, he just
lost all your health.
There, look at that ice cutter. What's he doing? Is he wearing it?
He's gonna die. He's dead.
I mean, I just like.
I'm checking. I'm coming to check if.
I'm doing 35k HPS.
Bro.
You need to also be doing healing, man. I'm the one who got nerfed, not you. Prop Paladin healing got buffed. It got buffed.
You lost all your health.
He just like, is he not pressing any buttons? What's going on?
He's gonna die. He's dead.
So, like, you can definitely feel it.
Check if you have it on.
You can feel it, guys. You can feel the change to healing. I didn't have my tank external here. I'm not sure. You know, I had Shaylin's gift there. But the point is, this dungeon was a bit of a wash no matter what. It was a really bad, really rough dungeon. But it's like, I don't know. He'll die again here, I think. I'm not sure what he's doing here. I'm doing 40k. He's doing 11k. So, like, what? There's Shaylin's gift. There's a big cooldown. Okay. I just used my bubble on him as well.
Is he wearing armor?
He dies again. He dies again. Like, I'm doing 50k HPS here almost. I don't know. Like, there's some situations like this where I'm like, I don't think there's anything more I can do there. So, again, I don't want to shit talk him too much. We did get through the dungeon, but he was just kind of in a rough place. I think here's what it's going to do. It's going to highlight for you the fact that it's going to highlight your team not doing very good damage or healing anymore. Your healer needs to be on the ball, okay? And your tank needs to be on the ball. And honestly, the off healing that can come out of your off healers now is going to be fantastic. It's going to be really, really good. Overall, though, this we're going to have to get used to this as healers. This is an adjustment, right? So the healing changes are massive. They're a really, really big change. Everybody overlaps me here on the, I don't know why they did that, but you're going to have to get used to healing more as a healer. Tanks are going to have to take a little bit more of that burden on themselves because tank healing got giga buffed, okay? And off healing also got buffed. And healers are the ones that are kind of out to lunch now. So you're going to have to help your healer out a little bit here in the new Mythic Plus season, I think. I mean, just in general, like, it got nerfed across the board. So definitely help your healers out. Don't leave them out to dry. And healers are going to have to get used to these new changes. So otherwise, guys, the changes are fine. Unfortunately, the Revival Catalyst stuff is a bit of a yikes. It's not going to matter in a week or two, but it's very frustrating right now that I can't upgrade the gear that I got this week from my vault. That's kind of dumb. The new Affix Changes are also a little bit strange. Some of them are in, some of them are not quite in yet because we're not into Season 2. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. And then the Thundering not being tracked the way it used to be tracked anyway. Very frustrating experience. And then the M plus healing changes. Not just the M plus healing changes, but the healing changes on a whole. I can definitely feel them on both of my healers right now. But it's something we're just going to have to get used to. It will be okay, I promise. And as we get more gear, I think it's going to get better as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Those are some of the changes that came in just on day 1 of Embers of Neltharion. Huge, huge stuff going on with the new patch. I'm really enjoying it, honestly. It's actually been really fun, and I'm going to keep enjoying it. I'm doing a huge stream today. If you're watching this video on the day it's getting posted, there's going to be a huge Twitch stream tonight. It's starting this afternoon, going into the evening, so definitely come and show up for that stream. I would love to have you guys there. Twitch.tv/ZukoVibes, okay? Love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.